Tell him, Steve Dave.
Okay. But you started telling me a story about dropping some guy's books off to him.
No, I would still consider that positive.
Well, we'll let the people decide. Well, this will be another poll. Well, you said that this is a guy who seems to, we're not going to name names, and it's definitely not Ming. A guy who seems to have issues with alcohol and can't really make it here that much, and his books were here for a while.
Okay, so this guy is a customer who comes in here, and he's in bad shape. He shakes. He comes in sometimes. He looks like he's been beaten to a pulp. His face is destroyed. Like it looks like someone just used him as a punching bag, and you're like, what happened? And he goes, oh, I got drunk and I fell down.
Like, does he have one of those big red, like, W.C. Fields noses?
He's very skinny, but, like, pasty. I've shaken his hand on times, and it literally feels like you're shaking a corpse's hand. There's just nothing. There's no muscle tone in his hand. There's not that I don't know who has muscular hands. Not like me. But like I don't have like a worker's hand. I've never done.
You don't have like those calloused rough hands.
I have calluses, but I don't have rough hands from working. My hands look like they've done millions of hours of work compared to this guy. They're so soft.
Do you think it's a manicure regimen that's helping him, or
I think
why
it's
are
just
his hands so fucking smooth?
Because he's probably just been an alcoholic since the day he was in high school till now.
And that makes your hands smooth?
He doesn't do anything but drink. He's just sitting in a trailer. He's never probably worked a day in his life.
How does he get the money for the booze, you think?
Because he calls me up and he says, I get paid on the first.
Oh, like disability or welfare or something. I say that with a question in my voice as if I don't receive it. I haven't worked in 2 fucking years. Did it sound authentic?
But he calls religiously, and he couldn't get down one month for whatever reason. He didn't have enough money for a cab, and his sister-in-law wouldn't give him a ride to Red Bank. He lives kind of close to me, like maybe 10 minutes from my house. He had maybe $12 worth of merchandise sitting behind the counter waiting for him, and he couldn't get down there. And I offered to drive it to his house if he had the money.
When you were telling me the story earlier, that's when I was like, wow, fucking Walt with the Christmas cheer and shit.
Yeah, it was a week before Christmas.
Right. Until
I was like, well, I just wanted the money.
You wanted the money.
I wanted the money because it was just sitting there for so long. I was like, I just want to get rid of this and get the money for it. As I started to think about it, as it became a problem to get to his house, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this for $12.
You are on the phone with him as you're driving to his house.
Well, I told him I'd call him from my cell phone because he couldn't barely give me directions over the phone to his house. He told me just make a turn by the CVS. And I was like, all right, which way, left or right? And he goes, just make the turn by the CVS, Walt. I'm right there. And I was like, well, which way? I can either go left, right, or straight. Which way do I turn? As I'm getting closer to the turn, it's pouring out, too. He starts panicking. He goes, oh, Walt, I don't know my left from my right.
Now, do you think friends of his listening to this podcast will recognize that accent and be like, that's so-and-so?
That's exactly how he talks, too, with that, oh. I missed the turn, obviously, because he can't tell me which way. He's calling for his mother, screaming at his mother, which way should I turn?
How old did you say was?
He's like in his 50s.
Okay.
So then he...
so he's screaming at, conservatively, a 70-year-old woman.
Easily. And I could hear her yelling back,
Brian, shut up! I'm trying to listen to Josh Groban!
She basically just told him, like, she's busy, leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I start getting angry, and I lost my temper with him. At that point, the Christmas cheer is gone, because I have to go all the way down
Which never really existed in the first place, because you just wanted the money.
And to make a U-turn to come back around and start over again.
What, from the store?
From the CVS.
Oh,
no.
CVS.
I get back by the CVS, all the while I'm still on the phone with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, which way? I go, do I turn in front of the CVS or do I turn opposite the CVS? And this is what I'm trying to say, like, to try to explain left and right to him over the phone.
Because he said he didn't know his left from his right.
He doesn't know his left from his right. So finally I'm like, this is fucking bullshit.
This favor you didn't ask me to do it. Bullshit. Why am I being held accountable?
I am doing him a favor. He can't get down there. I'm driving his books for free. So I demand that he walk down in the pouring rain to the CVS so he can get his books. So I'm sitting in the parking lot. It's pouring. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And at this point, I'm really questioning, like, what's wrong with me? Why the fuck am I going through all these problems for $12?
How long were you in the car for?
I was there at least 15 minutes before I got out of the car. And I got out of the car in the rain because I didn't want to go because I couldn't go out of the parking lot without having to go back around again. I had to walk to get out of the parking lot to see if he was coming. So at this point, I'm getting soaking wet too.
And you don't want to spin around because God forbid he should show up and
yes.
be like, "Where's Walter?" What the fuck? Mom! Walter never showed up. Shut up! Shut up!
I'm looking down the street. There's no sight of anybody walking. So I go back into my car, and I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. And as I pull out, I look down the street, and I see very far in the distance, I see a figure walking. And I'm like, it's got to be him. So I come down the street, and as I drive by, it's him. And I roll down the window. I'm like, just get in.
So now he's in your car.
He's in my car.
Soaking wet?
Soaking wet. And I'm like, and he goes, I'm sorry, he goes. And I felt bad. Because, I yelled at him, I cursed at him. And I was like, don't worry about it. I said, I'll give you a ride home. Mm-hmm. And I go, you got the money though, right? For the books? He goes, it was $12 and change. He goes, I only got a 10. But he told me on the phone he had the whole amount.
It is shocking that he wasn't dependable. After everything, after the way you described him, I thought for sure.
I've seen the guy pass out in front of the store and reach out for some sort of human contact just to shake someone's hand and no one shakes his hand. I really felt bad for him.
Well, he got spoiled from hanging around with you all night. It was his first taste of fucking humanity. Like, this is what it's like on the other side.
So I drop him off in a trailer park in the smallest little trailer that I know he lives in.
Please tell me you went inside.
I did not go inside.
Oh, God.
So he gets out of the car. He goes, at least you know where I live, so next time you could just bring it to my house.
Oh, God.
I just said, yeah, okay, that'll work out better, I said.
Oh, my God.
And then the next time I saw him, he came into the store. He looked good. He looked like he was sober.
He was conscious.
And he asked, can I use your bathroom? Mm. And I was like, yeah, sure. He uses the bathroom for not longer than 10 minutes. He comes out, he pays for his stuff. He says, I'll see you next month. And that's, that was it. We locked up. It was kind of at the end of the day. The next morning, though, he calls totally fucking shit-faced. So I got to tell you something. He goes, when I was in your bathroom, I had an accident. I didn't make it in time, and I went to the bathroom all over the floor. I swear to God.
Now, did he go on to say the accident, was it a puddle or was it a pile? I
assumed it was a puddle.
Right.
Because we share a bathroom at a restaurant. If there was a pile in that bathroom, they would have come looking. They would at least ask, what the fuck happened?
They want answers
or
if
piss.
It's a pile.
Right. Yeah. So they probably just cleaned it up. If he had said it in a way that was like, fuck you, you fucking yelled at me in the car, fuck you, I shit on your floor.
Oh,
But he called it in a way and he said it like he was sorry, which made me feel even worse.
God, this guy has your fucking heartstrings. Jesus Christ.
He didn't call to say, you know what, you yelled at me, you fucking bastard. You fucking made me feel like a piece of shit because I didn't have the $2 that for the whole bill.
Like you said, he's in his 50s, chronic alcoholic, lives with his mom in a trailer. Do you think he's accustomed to any sort of dignity?
I don't know. I mean, I would be. It's a world that I don't travel in.
Bullshit. Sounds like you're fucking dedicating most of your night to making sure this dude gets his books. Now after you left, did you feel good about it?
When I dropped him off at his trailer?
Right, when you drop him off at the trailer, you're like, all right, see you later.
No, I didn't feel good. I felt bad for the guy. And I felt bad, I felt like...
I mean, did you feel good for what you had done? Not
I didn't do anything.
Good, you're all wet. Now you live in a trailer.
Because I drove him back home?
Right, yeah.
Well, like I said, I felt bad that I blew up on him.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mike was on the phone, and he hangs up the phone, and he said something about some guy. Walt quick looks at me. And I was like, what's that about? He's like, nothing, just It's a comics delivery. I said, what do you mean? I said, to that guy you already delivered them to? He goes, no, another guy.
There's another fuck up that we got. I deliver.
So this is a second fuck up, and I've met the first fuck up.
Yeah,
I actually met him in the store.
But yeah, I don't know. They're both pretty eccentric guys.
So what's this guy's deal? Why are you delivering comics to him? After you said you would never do it again.
Do you? If I tell you, this is the very first time I delivered comics to him. He had paid for postage to me to mail them to him.
Right. But how many dollars worth? What was the value?
Like $6. I told him I charged him. So
for the postage or for the books?
For the postage.
Oh, how much were the books? I meant
$10.
Okay.
So what I did was I took the box.
The amounts are getting lower.
I took the box and I found on another box I was able to take the postage mark. The postage that gets dated by the
all right, like it's pink and it's like printed from a machine.
What's that called when a machine postmarks the
meter?
The meter, yeah.
Meter
and I pasted that on where the postage would have gone. Mm-hmm. And then I said, because the guy kind of lives maybe 10 minutes from my house, so I was like, I can save the store the $6. I'll deliver it to his house. I'll just knock on the door and run away before he sees me.
Wait, this is your plan for tonight?
No, this was back.
Because I was like, I'm going. I am going.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm.
I would always just pretend that I would make the box look like it was actually went through the.
So
post
wait a
office.
second. You're not saving the store $6.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost you $6 to send it to that guy.
No.
What you're doing is basically you're charging him for postage, but you're dropping it off.
Yeah.
And making him think that for some reason the mailman's knocking on his door at fucking 8 o'clock at night. Because don't they all do that?
No, I had to do something in the middle of the day. Actually, I was going to meet you for lunch or something, and it was the first time I did it, and I had the box. And I went up there and I knocked on the door, put the box on the door, and I ran. Yeah, that's what I was telling Mike. I was like, man, if he comes out and sees me and I'm not in a postal uniform, he's going to think, what's going on here?
Who's the fuck up man?
But for years I did that to this guy. I would pretend finally I just got lazy.
You did this for years?
Yeah.
Holy shit. No wonder you didn't want me to overhear. So finally you just...
Finally I was just like, I couldn't find one day, be able to rip it off perfectly like an old postage stamp. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go to his house and just deliver it and tell him that I'm delivering it now.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
Hey, Mike. Mike. Yeah. How long have we been delivering to that guy?
Oh, God, it's been about 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years of doing this? How often? Not once a week. Please tell me not once a
month.
Oh, once a month? Okay. So it's likely you've been to his house close to 50 times and have never gotten caught?
No. Eventually I stopped. I stopped with the charade of trying to make it look like a postman delivered this.
Oh.
And then he didn't care, It was more like, well, why the fuck would I care? I'm getting my comics delivered right to my front step.
Right. I mean, you could say...
Paying a paltry fee.
Yeah. Handle.
But he's moved so many times now in that been those 4 years that I'm kind of like
trying to get away from you.
No, it's like so that became a hassle. He moved a little bit farther away now, so I'm kind of annoyed. But I'm like I don't want to lose him as a customer.
He lives in Philadelphia. You don't want to lose him as a customer. Is that what's his deal? Because the other guy you said is an Elkie.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. I guess he just doesn't have a car. Well, one time though, what really got it fucked up was I don't know if you can edit this out. It's not even that interesting. But why I really stopped doing it that way was I couldn't find his house because he had moved to a new place. So he lived in a house where there's like I guess 10 people living in one house. They each have their own room.
Like a boarding house?
Yeah, I guess something like that.
Okay.
And so when I went up to the house, I didn't know which door was his. So the guy who came down, I was like, "Yeah, I got this delivery," and he goes, "What do you mean delivery?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of got nervous, and I was like, well, it was delivered to my house by accident."
So you start lying.
I started lying. I don't know why. I lied and said I had gotten it, just so he would.
You guys don't even live in the same town, though.
Well, this guy doesn't know that.
Oh, I thought if you have the box in your hand, now,
I had the box in my hand, but the guy who came down is not the guy I'm delivering it to. It's somebody else at the boarding house. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Can you make sure he gets it?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, definitely." And then the next day, the guy called and was like, "Did you mail that package out? I was supposed to get it today, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, you didn't get it?" And he goes, "No, I didn't get it." And I was like, "Fuck, I had to cop to the truth then."
Oh, so saying that you dropped it off?
I said, "I actually dropped it off at your house," I said. So I go, "This guy has it." He goes, I described the guy. Right. I go, "Call me back if, he goes, I'm going to go over there right now then." And he called me back. He said, "Yeah, he had the package."
Because you could have, alternatively, you could have lied and said that you sent it, and then said like, "Oh, you know what? I'll just send you more stuff."
Yeah, why would I do that? Why would
Well, if you didn't want to get caught in a fucked up lie that you've been fucking perpetrating for 2 years, maybe for that reason.
I wasn't going to send him more merchandise. When
$3 worth of stuff.
When this guy had it, I knew he had it. That's the story to why I'm delivering comics to this guy and some other fuck up.
All right. That's weird. That's weird that you've been doing it for that long and maintaining the ruse.
It's good customer service, don't you think?
You're close. You're almost all the way there. You could say like, I'm just going to drop it off to your house, but there's going to be a surcharge because of gas and shit, as opposed to like cutting off used postage and fucking pretending you mailed it and running away into the night. That's kind of weird.
It's still good customer service, though. No matter how it gets there, it got there. I was better than the postal service.
No, you weren't, because you gave it to the wrong guy, and the dude didn't even get it until he fucking called up.
That's true.